it takes just as much energy, if not more, to be pessimistic than it is to be optimistic. Y'all, this is a very impromptu video because I finished this today. I finished my book today, and if you've watched any of my last few videos, you already know I have been reading Fourth Wing, and you know that it took me a good minute, but I'm very proud of myself. This book is like 500 pages. This is the longest book I've ever read, and for good reason. This is a good ass book. This is a good book. Okay. I have thoughts. I have so many thoughts. So sit back, relax, get you a snack, a drink, something, because we're gonna talk about this book. And if you can't tell already, it's gonna be spoilers. There's gonna be a lot of spoilers because I'm not holding anything back, and I'm not necessarily gonna go in like super detail, but there will be spoilers because I have my thoughts and I need to talk about it with somebody. I need to talk about with somebody. So why not reach out to the online friends, the online people, the book community who there, it's no secret that this book is, I mean, mega viral, if not already. I mean, they say number one New York bestseller for damn near every book. So I really don't know at this point, but I know that this book has sold some copies. I believe it 1,000%. But hold up. I need a swig of my drink. Hold up. Y'all, just to show you how impromptu this video is, I literally have my Grinch pajama pants on. It's October. It's not even Halloween yet. But honestly, in another life, the Grinch is a Halloween character. He is. Does he not fit it? I feel like he's scary enough. And like, green could be a Halloween color. Yeah. I feel like the Grinch is a crossover. Kind of like what is it? The Nightmare on Christmas. The Nightmare on Christmas. Y'all, I'm not that aware of my scary movies. I'm gonna be honest. I think, is it the Nightmare? The Nightmare on Christmas Eve? Y'all know with Jack, the main skeleton guy. Yeah. Y'all know who I'm talking about. He can go in that category. But if you do not know already, if you cannot tell already, click off of this video if you have not read Fourth Wing yet. Okay? I'm going to give you some time. Like 2 seconds. This is your last warning. This is your last warning. If you have not watched, if you have not, it felt like watching a movie, to be honest. But if you have not read the book, click off, all right? And then come back. It's okay. It's okay. If you need a moment, it's fine. Read the book, then come back and enjoy this video. But let's get to it. We already know this is a fantasy. This is my first full-on fantasy that I've read. And let me tell you, what is it? This year was the first time I've watched Game of Thrones. So I just finished Game of Thrones not too long ago. And I feel like this was such a good book replacement for that feeling of fantasy, the want, just the craving for fantasy that I had ever since I started and got obsessed with Game of Thrones. And this right here, I feel like this is the equivalent of watching something so cinematic. Like I can paint the picture of almost every battle in my head. Like every action scene, I feel like I can really see it in my head. This book, it was well done. It was well done. I will say there are maybe like a few cringy lines. Not even that. It's not even that cringy. I don't know. To me, it was just like a bit like, okay, girl. But then I got right back into the story. So it really was not a big deal. To me, at least. But okay, first things first, Violet. I love how you can tell the character development from the beginning of the story to the end of the story. You can tell how she's grown. You could tell what she's seen, how it's impacted her, and how she's kind of getting a better grasp of, in the beginning, she's super naive. And I feel like towards the end of the book, you can see how the naivety is falling like quite literally just falling from her, just from everything she's been through. And let me say this, I also read this book at a very relatable time, because currently I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna keep it a buck, because this is something that I feel like it's gonna make sense when I say it, or like it's gonna make sense why I say it. But anyway, I read this book. I had a falling out with my best friend, my boy best friend. Yeah, we've had a falling out. This is like our biggest fight that we've ever had, or whatever. And it's not like it's a super crazy fight. It's more of a like, we don't see the world the same, and it's starting to affect the friendship. And that's how I feel like her, Violet and Dane's relationship. And this is besides the intimate past, because I'm gonna be honest, yeah, me and my boy best friend, we were never intimate or anything like that. And so this is literally just me relaying to the fact that he was annoying as shit in the book. He was. And I feel like my friend was starting to act like that in real life, where you're trying to control a scenario where you really don't have much control over. And it's kind of weird to want to control your friend to the point where it's like they have to be the exact, what is it? See life the exact same way that you see it, or they're just not your friend, or you don't want to be friends with them. And then judging of course, judging the guy that she's interested in for valid reason, right? But it's really more so just jealousy as the book came about. He was really just jealous. Like that's, let's call a spade. He was jealous. And so I could really, really relate, because when I'm reading this, I'm like, oh my goodness, she's just like, he's like, oh, you're gonna make a mistake. And he is such a stickler for rules that even when it came to the point where he could have saved her in some of I forgot at what point it was. This was in one of like the first battles before they really got bonded to dragons, where it was just them fighting each other, where he could have saved her and he was over here being a pussy. Like, let's be honest, that's exactly how he was acting. And just because he's a stickler for rules, like, I'm sorry, that's just crazy to me. That's crazy. Like, yeah, that was really pissing me off when I was reading it. I was like, ugh, he is just so annoying. I just know everyone feels like he's so annoying. And the fact that in the end he ended up damn near betraying her, I feel like he did a bigger betrayal than what Xaden did, because I feel like Xaden, I get it was lie by omission, but Dane reading her thoughts, I personally feel like that's worse, and setting them up, because of course he had to tell his dad, because his dad is the commander. Yeah, I feel like that betrayal is stronger than Xaden's lie of omission, in my opinion, but that's just me. But oh my goodness. And why did Liam have to die? Why did Liam have to die? When I tell you, tears. I was genuinely fighting back tears. And then the moment that because they're supposed to burn all their belongings, whenever a rider dies or whenever anyone dies, they essentially commend their souls to Melek, and Melek is the god of death. And the fact that Xaden saved a little golden dragon for Adarna, the figurine that Liam was crafting, I couldn't. In that moment, I'm like, oh my goodness. Y'all, I think that moment sticks out to me. And then the moment of, this is like way before in the story, this is like middle of the story, but when she meets up with Mira again, that was so sweet, because I have sisters, so I completely understand and I get it. And not being able to talk to your sister, and this is like months on end, and all this stuff is life-changing. Like, this is a life-changing point in time. Like, you're telling me that I am at a dragon training school, and I can't talk to my sister? Like, yeah, I'd be crashing out too. Are you kidding me? Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. This book, I flew through it. And I will say, I like the way that at the very end we did get Zayden's point of view. But I do still like Violet's point of view, of course. And that's also me probably being biased because I'm a girl. So I kind of like reading from a girl's perspective in a lot of my books, especially in certain genres. But yeah. And oh my goodness, I didn't even know that I came to the end of the book until I read the last phrase and my jaw was on the floor. I was like, ain't no way he's alive. Ain't no way he's alive. But it makes sense. It makes sense because they wanted to keep all the rest of it a secret. And I'm assuming that her mom didn't want to kill Brennan. And so I guess she let him live unless Brennan survived. I don't know. We'll find out in book 2. But yeah, that's what I'm guessing at. But and then I turned the page and it says acknowledgements. I'm like, oh my goodness. Like, are you kidding me? I'm really at the end of the book. But this was a good book, y'all. This was a good book. I feel like I will say for the next book, I think as I'm reading, I'll look more at the map because I'm not going to lie. I never really looked at the map. I think I looked at the map in the beginning and then I looked at the map when I finished the book. So I didn't really look at the map while I was reading it. But as I'm looking at the map now, I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Especially the certain places, trying to remember. But I'm assuming it'll come back again in book 2. Unless they expand on the map itself. But this was a really good book. I just love reading. I genuinely do. And first, the book is loved. We already know. Wait, can y'all see? The book is loved. I like floppy pages for books that are this big. Like this is a thick book. And this has made it a lot easier to read in bed and to just pick up and go. I don't know. I like the floppiness. Hard covers are so serious. I don't know. Hard covers are like the suits of books, you know, where they're like just very stiff. I like a good hardcover, but that is not my preferred choice of reading. Almost every single book, I'm looking at my books right now, a lot of them are the floppy, soft pages. Unless, you know, you can't get it in other than a hardcover. But I feel like hardcovers are usually thrillers from what I've seen. Then again, they've been recently coming out with a lot of floppy pages for thrillers. Anyway, I'm trying to find the quote that I underlined. It was maybe like 1 or 2 things. It wasn't anything crazy. This. Oh my goodness. This. Girl, this is how you know I was feeling it. I wrote a little line. I wrote in the book. Because of course I'm keeping it. Are you kidding me? This is my book. This is the start of the collection. But where she's talking about Dane, and yeah, they were having a fight and talking about why they aren't friends anymore. And she's just kind of realizing the fact that Dane may not be in her life because of the way that he's acting. And she's just like, other than the last year when he entered the writer's quadrant, I can't remember a time without Dane in my life because yeah, he's like a childhood friend, right? But she was like, but I can't take his constant pessimism about my future anymore. And I'm like, girl, this is exactly what I was going through. That's like to a T. Because I'm sorry, pessimism is not as helpful as you think it is. I don't understand. I actually genuinely don't understand. It takes just as much energy, if not more, to be pessimistic than it is to be optimistic. And so why would you choose the latter? Because it doesn't help. And I really had to relay that. And I was like, okay, like you can keep your pessimism over there because we don't want it over here. You think that I'm going to be dodging my self-doubts and your pessimism in this life? Absolutely not. So I completely get why Violet is like, bro, like, I don't want to deal with this anymore. And like he was just thinking that he was protecting her, but to be honest, Zayden had called it. He's like, no, like he's genuinely hindering you. Like you're never going to be able to see your potential if you listen to this man, quite frankly. And that's exactly what it was. And so I'm really glad she pushed past that. And just to see where all of this has gone, and just she's just towards the end, like really realizing the fact that just because somebody's in power doesn't mean that they're telling the truth about what's going on in the world. And I mean, it's not like we can't relate to a corrupt government. Let's be honest. So yeah, reading this book, this was a good book. And I love the way that I love the way that the dragons aren't necessarily like they're talking, but really it's more telepathy between the riders and their dragons. I really, really love that. And I love how sarcastic Taryn is. I love Taryn's personality. He's funny. He's my type of person. I'm sorry. The sarcasm, he's hilarious. He's just funny. But he also knows when to push Violet and be like, no, like you could do this. Like you got this. Yeah. I don't know what else to say other than I'm excited for book 2. I just really needed to talk about this. And I hope I find my people who love this book just as much as I do and love this series just as much as I do. And one more thing, let me say this last thing, because I saw a little bit of discourse. I think this was through YouTube, not necessarily on TikTok, but judging the fact that with book talk and TikTok being super popular, about the fact that people are reading the same books. Like we're getting influence on what books to read and things like that. Where I do understand the argument, I just will never fault anyone for reading. I don't care if it's a popular book. I don't care if it's a #1 seller, this, and that. Like, to be honest, that's why ratings are there, so that they can help find, or that other people can help find books that possibly, more people would like because of other people leaving their reviews or whatever. And I just, with all the things you could be doing with your time, I just will never, I will never talk down on somebody reading. I just won't. That, to me, that makes no sense. But that's just me. But y'all, I'm filming this super late. It's actually not that late. It's maybe like 11 o'clock, 11:30, but it's late enough. It's late enough. I feel it. But I just wanted to say, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I vlog and talk and do kind of whatever I want on this channel. Follow me on my second channel for more like podcasty vibes, sit down vibes. And then I am gonna launch a gaming channel eventually, so that should be up and running. And yeah, I'm really just, it's a quick little ad read of what it's obviously Lizzie, because if you don't promote yourself, no one else will. But yeah, I can't stop smiling. I'm glad I finished the book. I'm actually very proud of myself. The fact that I finished the 500-page book and completely thoroughly enjoyed it is just icing on the cake. But now I want a little dragon figurine. That's what I want. I want a little dragon figurine. He doesn't have to be black or golden, like Taryn and Adarna, but I do want a dragon figurine, so I'm gonna get that. I already did get a sticker from Fourth Wing. It's super cute. Because I was gonna get a Kindle. That's another side note. I was gonna get a Kindle. I don't think I'm gonna get a Kindle anymore. I'm going back and forth because I like the convenience, but I also don't like the idea that if I purchase a book, it could be taken. Like, are you kidding me? What do you think I bought the book for? You know what I'm saying? Like, that makes no sense. But yeah, that's kind of why I go back and forth on trying to determine if I want a Kindle or not. So we'll see. Make sure, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Comment down below any book recommendations, other like in fantasy as well, an anime, some thriller, I don't know, sprinkle in some romance. Romance is kind of like lower on my list. I don't know. It just is. I do like some spicy scenes though, so I will say that I do like a little spice in my romance. But um, yeah, I'll see y'all in the next video. Okay, I'm about to go to sleep. All right, bye.